fun wave today.
So fast, you know.
We have faster waves than this around here, but it was a special, like, it was a good day to be out here. But yeah,
no, I love slow waves. I mean, I never get to ride things like this. It's like you see this in videos, and you're just like, man, that video just goes on forever and ever and ever. Like, I can't even imagine that. I mean, except for, you know, when I travel here and there, but it's just incredible.
It did go on forever. Yeah. It's a fun wave. It is long. It's neat how, like, it's slow rolling it is.
Yeah. I have to just stop myself from, like, trying to do too much. I'm just so used to, like, okay, it's breaking. I gotta, like, do my thing quick, like, you know, react quick, and it's gonna be over quick.
I feel like that's what I'm working on in general, like out of the water. You know, like it's a big achievement to fit a lot in in our culture right now.
Yeah.
And that's my big lesson. I'm trying to slow down more.
Yeah.
Just like being a mom, but also, like, I don't know, just trying to run a business. And
how do you do that? I think that's something that we don't really see, and we don't know how that's done. You know, how you can raise
slow down?
Well, no, to raise a child.
Because I'm trying to
and
figure
to
surf,
that part out. Just those two things alone, but then also your business. I mean, this is a lot. That's a lot. Each unto itself is a lot.
It is a lot, because each thing, like being a mom, is a full-time job, or it could be, like, depending on how you do it. And I really enjoy spending time with my son. And now it's like, it's interesting because I'm going through a divorce right now. So just this new concept of these are your days, these are my days. And like having nights where I'm not with them is super weird. But I'm also like, it seems scary at first, but I am finding, like, okay, I'm by myself, and like, oh yeah, remember this when I was 20 something, and I would just, like, not have anything to do, and then I'd pick up my guitar and start singing and, like, write a new song, and then like do some art. And so it's interesting because, like, I don't want to not do that kind of thing, those kind of things in front of my son. Like, I think that it's important for him to also see me do that, but I just don't claim that time and show him the importance of it. And so I've been recognizing that lately. Like, it's okay to just, like, I don't have to have everything perfect in the house right now. Like, right now I just need to be with him and be present. Or, like, I'm feeling a song and he could watch me play this song, or he could join me play this song. But, like, put in the importance on, you know, play for him is really good, but I'm trying to, like, understand that play for myself and creativity for myself. Like, it's always, you know, like, shaping surfboards is creative, but then sometimes it becomes not creative, especially when I'm just like, I gotta pump it out and get this person's board done so that I can get that other person's board done. And, like, it's still shaping a surfboard, but it feels different. So I every board I do, I try to find that place of, like, almost like a prayer, or, like, just a moment to, like, if not through the whole entire surfboard, just think about that person, and that this is going in the ocean, and, like, this surfboard's going to be around for a while.
I mean, so in your Instagram, I noticed you hashtag it Made with Love or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's the intention is really there. That's really your where your heart is with it, which is really beautiful, because
it is where my intention is.
This idea of objects being objects, like, we have no respect for them. You know, we just kind of, you know, the single-use thing, we use things, we toss it, and this idea that, like, you're putting this energy into it with the intention of, well, you know, knowing who's receiving it, and that's going to be used for something. I think that's such a beautiful concept. I feel like it's a very Japanese kind of, like, Zen concept.
Oh, that's nice to hear.
Or some, I just think about the samurais with their swords. It's like the object, their tools, and there's, like, a respect given to it because it has a function for you in your life, or, you know.
Yeah, you know, like, so many things, they are just, it's this disposable world, which isn't actually disposable. Like, it goes out of your hands, but it goes somewhere. And, you know, the my dog's rolling around in the car here.
So cute.
You gotta
Actually,
calm
speaking
down.
of disposable, I want to kind of, it's a perfect transition to your eco boards. How did that come up? And, like, like, just tell me everything about that. I think that's so
About
exciting.
the eco
And we
boards?
don't have, I feel like a lot of people are tinkering around with it, but it's not, it's obviously far from an industry standard. And I think there are a lot of surfers and people in the surf industry who are trying to find that way, but I think it just seems like no one's really found the way yet, and I haven't really seen many, it's usually too heavy. It's usually like, whether it's made from balsam wood or agave, like there's so many different things that I've seen, but it's, I've heard like rumblings here and there, like it's not quite there yet. It's very heavy.
It's getting there. Like it's, it's amazing. Is everything, Cleo? You
Actually,
gotta
for a
calm down.
longboard, it seems to make sense, for a log.
Did she knock this? Is it? Okay?
Yeah, it's okay.
Hey, calm down. She's being so cute, but you're distracting
puppy in our
me.
midst right now.
She's like, you guys are having a great talk. This is amazing.
I'm
gonna be really cute. Okay, so yeah, eco boards. God, they've come a long way since I've started shaping. I mean, I think I guess I've just been part of the movement. God, a lot of times I just feel like I'm a hypocrite, to tell you the truth, because like just living in the world, it's like we want to do better, and just look at this car and all the plastic I have in it, like that light, and everything. Like, it's really hard to live in a world where you're not using plastic waste. Like, who knows what really happens to most of the stuff that we use. But shortly after, I used to glass, polyurethane boards with polyester resin, and like have my mask on for the most of the time. But like, I remember washing my hands in acetone and like these things that are extreme carcinogens, and like I live a pretty healthy life now, but and it's not like I did that all the time, but I just think about like my little bit of like contributing to like all the VOCs in the world. Like it kind of bums me out, and I'm such a small part of it in comparison to like the rest of the world, and it's and at the same time I try not to be discouraged, because it's like we all, just the little bit that we do collectively really help. It does help make a difference, and I do feel the momentum in the movement now. So like, as far as like your original question before getting distracted by the cute dog, it just as far as like how the materials are working. So with shapers, like we don't make much money. There's not a lot of money to be made, and so when you start experimenting, that's all. That's coming out of your pocket, and
there's no guarantee that it'll succeed at the end of it.
Then so you like try to make an eco-friendly surfboard and it falls apart. So like maybe you're not even helping the environment, but at least you're trying. And then like you just spent $500, and so it's just to make the board. So it's that's why a lot of it's been a challenge. I mean, shaping and glassing is actually like, it's a pretty small world, and just like surf culture in general, like how information gets around. A lot of it's through kind of just talk and maybe gossip. So especially in the beginning, like I've always been really interested in. Should I wait until that car?
Oh no, it's okay.
But I've been interested in being part of the movement, even though it has been costly at sometimes or experimental and not sure. Because if you don't try and you don't experiment, then how do you get the ball rolling? Like someone has to do it. And so with these experimental blanks and resins that have come about, I've been all for like, yes, I would love to. I will try that out. I will glass that. And a lot of it's actually been pretty rad, but there has been some weird things. Like, for example, there was this company, Homeblown, and they made biofoam blanks, which were pretty rad. That was like my first little touch into
what's biofoam?
Eco board building. Made from plant-based sources.
Oh, okay.
So like they were Yeah, so like cornstarch, sugar.
Okay.
They were trying different things to make
right.
their foam instead of just like out of the super like toxic, crazy stuff that Clark Foam had to be basically shut down for because there's just too much from the EPA. So like you have like thousands of surfers from all over the world knowing what something specifically feels like, and the shaper is shaping that, and so you need like a certain balance and float and flexibility and strength. Like these things are all super important. And then nobody in the surf industry of like making boards, well, maybe some people, I mean, I know they're out there, I'm not one of them, but you're not making a ton of money as a shaper. So when you go to experiment, like that's a really, so you're relying on word of mouth. And the word of mouth is like, this foam is kind of weird. It, like, we glassed it, and then it kind of shrunk in this one spot, and then, like, it didn't shrink. It was super strong, but there's tiger stripes on it. And, like, I have a biofoam board that I shaped, took to New Zealand with another standard board that a shaper friend of mine made, surfed the heck out of it. You get a ding in it, it pretty much bounces back.
Wow.
And
wow.
I
That's
still
so
have the
cool.
board, and I'm like, this thing is holding up incredibly.
So cool.
And the company didn't last,
so
and it bums me out. Like, I can't get these blanks anymore, but I would love to.
Wow, that's so cool.
It's really funny. Like, and when I don't know if you heard of the movie Deer in Yonder, but they asked me to shape a biofoam blank for that movie, and that kind of helped start, because they were like, would you be interested in this? Like, it was a question that I might say no to. I was just like, of course, that sounds amazing. I would love to. So I thank Tiffany and Andrea, the filmmakers, for asking me to do that, because that. And then they featured that in the film, which I thought that was killer. And it was funny because I glassed the board myself, and I'm talking about the resin, and it is not, at that point in time, we didn't have a more eco-friendly resin.
I have to rewatch this. I don't remember
it's
this.
It's a neat film. They did a great job. It was neat to be a part of it. But now, like, come full circle, this was, I don't know when it was, let me see, like 12, 11 years ago maybe. I have every single board I shape now is glassed with a bio resin. Wow. So it's resin from this company called Entropy Resins. It's considered to be, it's an epoxy resin, and so we call it a bio resin. And basically, like, the footprint is just it's a lot less of a bio footprint. They get a lot of their resources from different, like, byproducts from other oil companies. So it's really great stuff, but it's not as easy to use.
What's it made from?
They change their formula, like, they keep evolving their formula. So it's been different things over the years, like, and I almost don't want to even say, because I don't want to be telling you the wrong stuff, but they've done out of, like, pine sap and like the byproducts from the cashew industry, and
so
like places where there's like waste, or these, and they resource it, and then so, like, there's a lot of different ways that they bring down the bio footprint. But excuse me, getting over this little congestion. But yeah, it's been really neat working with them. Like, when I was pregnant, I was next door to a polyester glass shop where I had my great glass work, like, love them. I would shape next door, and then I would hold my breath, walk my boards, and make sure my car's on, like, pretending like I'm, like, being held under a wave or something. Good practice. Okay, leave the shop. Is like, I didn't even want to breathe. Like, it's funny when you get pregnant, just how you look at every breath you take a lot differently. So from there, it's just, I wanted to just find a different answer, and it's just seeing other surfboard makers being affected by just being affected by the materials that they use, and the masks go off because the conversation